What's up? Welcome to the First Issue Club. We're your weekly comic book podcast. We're just like Sue Storm. We love a good read. We read several first issues this week. We always do. You should know that by now. Let's be real. No one new is listening to this thing.
Hey, you don't know. It could be somebody's first episode. They could not know that you're Mike D and I'm Vargas.
Oh, well, thank you for introducing me, just in case. We aim to be very inclusive and welcome and onboard new people.
True.
New people, where are you? Holler at us. If this is your first issue club, let us know. First appearance of you.
First appearance of you. Yeah, drop in our Discord and we'll slab you.
We're recording remotely today, and we were recording a bit later in the week than we normally would. If you see this released in your feed on like Sunday morning, it is because we had terrible weather in Kansas City. We got on a record last week and the tornado siren started going off. So we called it to make sure everybody was safe. And we're doing a late Saturday makeup record here. So you still get some first issues to talk about with your virtual friends, the First Issue Club.
We're virtually your friend.
I like to think so anyway. We've got a Discord where we chat with all of our cool comic book community with like-minded, good-hearted vibes, getting down on some comic book conversation. So find us over there. If you're a Discord person or lurk and enjoy our conversations, it always brings a lot of brightness to my day to escape into that chat and get some comic book convo in my life.
That's right.
And interact with some other people. It's important. It can be an isolating hobby, folks. And we got to find other people in it. We talked about this a little bit. I can't remember if this was on the Patreon or on a normal episode a couple weeks back, but we did talk about this idea of like AI run Dungeons and Dragons type campaigns.
Yeah, I think
and
that was
how
even like last week.
and how people are like doing solo adventures now. And while that's like, I don't know, that is maybe like a cool way to use AI, it also discourages me a bit because I think that Dungeons and Dragons was a great way to get people together that had common interests and may not have a lot of other like friends, but like there's, all the other like cool freaky weirdos that you went to high school with were like, we want to find other people to play Dungeons and Dragons with, and this person seems like somebody who shares my I don't know, sentiments about life and being cool and being a nerd. So I hope
now that D&D is like a popular, like it's
D&D is kind of like cool now.
You can buy a starter set at Target, so.
But I would hope that this like the AI type stuff doesn't discourage people from finding a community and finding other people that you can be a nerd with. I think that's like super crucial, and I love our Discord for that. It is like that. I don't play like tabletop games really, so the Discord and my co-hosts obviously on this podcast are that for me. So I hope you have that wherever you are in the world listening to this, and if you don't, then join our Discord. It's a really good group of people. It's free. There's nothing for us to gain from telling you to go over there other than, I think, this altruistic mission of finding more people like yourselves and building a community around comics. And that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
I have in my hand something extremely cool and extremely precious to me. And it is a Boulevard Space Camper Cosmic IPA. Guys, this podcast is lovingly brought to you by the fine folks at Boulevard Brewing Company. It is based in me and Vargas's hometown of Kansas City, Missouri. We do mini cons there with our friends, and convention pre-parties, nerd trivia nights we've done before over there. The fine folks at Boulevard really put their money where their mouth is when it comes to supporting comics and nerds and all this cool stuff. So we love you, Space Camper Cosmic IPA. You're a deliciously hoppy beverage.
They also put their money where our mouth is and sponsor us. So, if you like us, you should transitive property like Boulevard.
That's right. I love that logic. Okay. Before we get into the issues that we read this week, and we hope that you find one of those issues in your local comic book shop and give it a chance if you haven't been out already to pick one of these guys up. We'll talk about a small touch of comic book news, which many of you have likely seen already at this point, but I don't think we've talked about it, that Avengers Endgame is being re-released in movie theaters. And the word is that they're adding some never before seen footage or some newly shot footage potentially that is supposed to build hype for our upcoming Marvel movies, which include things like Spider-Man, Doomsday, Secret Wars, and maybe any we don't know explicitly, I don't think, but some combination of like preview for one of these upcoming movies.
Yeah, and it's not just build hype. The Russo brothers have indicated that this new footage is not not integral, but it's substantial to where Doomsday is going to take this MCU story. So it's it's not just extra footage of Spider-Man, doing a backflip, or Captain America punching Thanos one more time. It's something substantial. So God knows what it could be.
Vargas,
what?
Let's say it's $10 to go see this thing again.
Oh, that's a
and
deal.
It's what, like a 3-hour movie?
Yeah.
Are you going to sit through that for $10 to see whatever this new footage is?
For $10? So it's almost $10 cheaper than going to a brand new movie? Yes, I will.
Is it that expensive to see a new movie by you?
I went and saw the new Mummy movie last night, and it was $17 for a ticket.
Oh, geez. I'm out of touch, maybe. Them's are IMAX dollars where I'm at.
Well, you must have a cooler movie theater.
I guess so. Thank you, AMC. Keeping it cheap on weekdays for me, I guess.
Buh. AMC. the AMC near me, the last 2 times I've been, have been just inundated with young people talking.
Yeah.
And I have sworn it off forever.
Okay, let's say this is a more or less what amounts to a bonus scene at the end of the credits.
Sure.
Are you pissed?
Yeah, probably.
Same. I'm pissed if I sit through the entire movie and it's like a 30-second, like, what about this?
Robert Downey Jr. shows up again, alive.
I mean, honestly, it's going to be like, how is Robert Downey Jr. still in this? I feel like there's no other thing to show us other than like how or why. Yeah, he becomes Doom, whether it's like a reveal from an alternate reality or whatever it is. But I think I'd be pissed if I paid money to go see this thing again, sat through the entirety of it, and then got a little tag on at the end. That was
Can
like
I
a 30-second thing.
can I can I can I pitch you something though? However,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm down to hear alternatives.
okay, so the alternative is throughout the movie we get scattered brief scenes of Jonathan Majors as Kang sort of creeping on what's been going on with Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like the watcher, right? Like he's basically showing up like making sure that what happens in the movie is happening the way it's supposed to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end we get a new version of that Council of Kang that we got in, was that Ant-Man or something? Whatever movie that was where there was the Council
Yeah.
of Kangs, you know what I'm talking about?
Quantumania. Yeah.
Quantumania was probably it. Uh but instead of at the end where they're all like cheering, right? Doctor Doom shows up and slaughters all of them, just kills every Kang. Okay?
I mean, it would explain off the Kangs.
It would solve the Kang problem and
Yeah.
introduce Doctor Doom.
A lot of loose hanging Kangs
we, we can't
on
have
our
any hanging
Marvel
Kangs.
on our Marvel ballots.
That's right. Would you
What
be
a
pissed if that's
screw
what?
up.
Would you be pissed if that's what it was?
Gosh, I would be like, what a swing, especially if they like, let's say they make it like a 5-minute bloodbath
Uh huh.
where like Doom is John Wick style, like just taking out one person after another with like both physical violence and sorcery type violence.
Uh huh.
I think I would be like standing ovation in the theater. And I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, like fuck that era of Marvel. Like, and this is like the part where we like scrub out that like, hey, ignore that like history where we cast a guy that like nobody likes anymore. And
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it without acknowledging the Jonathan Majors of it all, but nobody's gonna put him back in a movie. I mean, you might just like reference him.
Yeah, he's too busy making Daily Wire movies now.
God, I can't believe that shit. Let's like find all the canceled shitheads and put them in one fucking movie together. Get the fuck out. That makes me sick.
Yeah. I think that's what they should do. I would love it if that's what they do.
Yeah. You could just allude to him or have like the back of someone's head. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And TCB. Doom, RDJ, TCB.
RDJ, DD, TCB.
Yeah. To me, one of the biggest like hanging things in Marvel right now, it was the end of the Marvels where they like went through some dimensional portal and then ended up in X-Men world.
That's right.
And like I can't believe there hasn't been anything else acknowledging that happened since that. Well, that seems like it. Maybe it wasn't like 4 years ago now, but it seems like it was like 4 years ago now that movie came out. And I'm like, I'm ready to acknowledge like what the hell's going on with all these X-Men, but we're probably not going to see that until what would it be? Secret Wars
Yeah.
or some
Well, because
teaser of Secret Wars, or maybe we see it in this. I mean, it would be really interesting, I guess, to be like, hey, here's where all the X-Men were this whole time.
and it's not just X-Men too. Remember, Monica Rambeau shows up as binary.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's crazy.
Hmm. Do other people come back in time
I don't know.
to the Endgame moment?
Hey, now you're talking.
I don't know what you would do. There's no way it's in movie, right? The thing they add, there's no way it's in movie.
Why not? Why can't it be?
I guess it could, but like that seems difficult to me to wedge something in. That's like
you put a cut in, you put in a new scene
that just has like hardly anything else to do with the movie.
I don't know. See, this is how they get your $17, Mike.
Yeah, because we got to find out.
Got to find out.
I'll just get the general sentiment offline. I think if people are like,
just gonna Google it.
What? I won't Google it and see what is it, but I will try to see the sentiment without seeing what it is. If I can see people online being like, "Boo, don't waste your money," then I'll probably Google it and see like what was it.
Sure.
But otherwise, I wouldn't. I guess the worst thing that happens is I go back into theaters and get to watch Endgame again on a huge screen. So
yeah,
who am I to complain about that? That's true. Fun. The movie was a blast to watch. All right, let's get into comic books. We can only speculate so much, Vargas. Let's get into what we read. We could have done a whole episode of this.
And we will.
All right. Do you want to start with Corpse Night?
Yeah, let's do it.
Corpse Night is by Michael Chaves, Matthew Roberts, with Rico Renzi. Great cover. Was a limit one per person book in my comic shop this week.
Yeah, I had to settle for the stupid I Heart Fairyland team up cover. That's all that was left.
People wanted these dang A covers. Yeah. I think we're about at the tail end of, in every week there's an indie book that people go absolutely bonkers for. Yeah. I'm expecting any day now Nectar #1 to be a $5 comic again. But we'll see if that ever happens. But Corpse Night, I'll say, best 1 minute read of the year. This was a breezy comic book with not a ton of dialogue, but really pretty art and a very succinct story. I see why this was the book to have this week. It's like, I think, extremely accessible for new readers, has just enough, like, feels it's like of a Game of Thrones era, which is, I don't know, there's a lot of people you can capture with that kind of story. And then the magical thinking in it is slight. Yeah. It like it grounds itself in a certain amount of lore that it doesn't seem like this is a sci-fi outrageous fantasy comic. It's like, what if this one time this one nutso thing happened that maybe there's a precedent for with like religious folklore, and for that reason did a lot of things that I liked, and is definitely a book worth $3.99, which is a great cover price on a modern comic from an independent publisher. Corpse Night gets a big ol' thumbs up from me.
Yeah, this is everything a first issue should be, in my humble opinion. Like the title tells you exactly what the elevator pitch of the book is. Like,
right.
The cover gives you an idea of what the art's going to look like inside of it. It doesn't bog you down with too many of those pesky words. Yeah, it's a masterclass in a first issue.
Should I hit everybody with the synopsis real quick?
Corpse Night. There's a zombie night.
Yeah.
The end. Like,
the main character is kind of this little girl, and her father was killed. by like roving bandits, I guess. And she escapes, kind of tries to run the farm as the like sole survivor of this attack, and the men come back for her. She's praying over her father's grave. Her father reaches back up out of the ground. He kicks some fucking ass and then takes on the armor of one of these um, marauding shitheads. And so he now has like badass knight armor. And her and his daughter are going to go try to find Joan of Arc, who they set up earlier in the story as a contemporary hero type character who has resurrected people from the dead before. And our corpse knight is still technically undead. So while he's told his daughter Joan of Arc stories, is kind of like a be strong, and women can be strong and important in this world and kick ass. Now she's looking to that person as kind of a savior, and they're going to go journey out and try to find her.
You nailed it.
Yeah. No dialogue from said corpse knight. I don't think he can speak anymore. At least yet.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think he's basically like a drone. A night drone at this point.
It kind of read to me like, have you ever read any old Tales of the Zombie, Marvel's zombie book from the 70s? It's sort of like old I don't know, like old Man Thing or old Swamp Thing books, where it's like, oh, he's this monster, but he's got this,
altruistic mission.
Yeah, altruistic mission and deep inner life and all this stuff. Kind of read to me that way, where he's a zombie, but he has this inherent driving goal of protecting his daughter.
Yeah.
So that feels to me the direction the book's gonna head, where these two characters keep coming up against insurmountable odds, but triumph together just because their love for each other keeps them going. So
it's the power of love.
That's right. Yeah, it was a great book.
Okay. Next book, another Image comic by Bhattacharya, Sam, and Sagala. In Your Skin. Really cool cover.
Buddy.
I was intrigued. A great title, great logo for the title. A lot of things going before you even read this. A lot of things going on. When I was thinking about like what's the book to have this week, just based on like previews and pre-orders ahead of any of these things like getting reviewed by anybody, In Your Skin was a comic that I was like, yeah, this is going to be one of them ones. I talked too much during the last one. Do you want to should I keep rolling, or do you want to give your take on In Your Skin first?
I would love to give my take. So, first of all, Bidakar, the writer, is by trade a comic letterer.
Oh, okay, cool.
Who has lettered a ton of stuff, but most famously, I think, Department of Truth.
Okay.
And like World's Finest. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff. So Homeboy has a pedigree coming into this book. This is the first book he's written. Sam did the art in Crocodile Black, which I believe we talked about on the show, at least the first issue. And this is a book that is very much of the current comic book landscape, where not only is horror, prestige horror, having a resurgence, but specifically body horror is sort of having its moment in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Um, and this book not only has all that stuff going for it, but it's also a very targeted, uh, what not demographic, but the world that it lives in is very
Mm-hmm.
targeted toward Bollywood and Bollywood fandom. Um, so our main character is like a super fan of this Bollywood actress who is going to be in this new movie, and she wins. Well, wins, I say. She comes upon this tickets to meet this actress, and right before she gets to meet her hero, the actress announced that she's retiring, and yada yada yada, body horror stuff, obsession, whatever. uh, we come to find out that our main character has basically decided that since and if her idol is not going to live the life that she feels her idol should be living, then our main character is literally going to take her skin and live it for her. Somehow they have switched skin. Our main character is literally wearing the flesh of her idol. And I presume the idol is wearing the skin of our main character. Was that your takeaway at the end of the
Yes.
book?
Yeah.
They had face offed, but instead of just their face, it's their whole body.
And I don't know if she's ever going to come to or if she's dead in there
Right.
or what the deal is.
Yeah, I don't know how that portion of the story is going to progress, but um lots of really meaty art to look at, lots of interesting illusions, lots of uh, uh, deep stuff to bite into. Uh, there's a lot of like exploration of parasocial relationships where
Mm-hmm.
fans of a famous person place a lot of expectations about what a famous person's life should be on them, and when they don't live up to that expectation, what does that mean for these people that are so deeply invested in this person's life, especially when they're willing to potentially bend or break their moral code
Mm-hmm.
in the name of or in honor of this person that they adore.
Yeah, right. The whole thing of like I your legacy is so important that I won't let you quit. Like I know
Yeah.
better and I'll take over your life. Um and yeah, this like melding of identities that like I am you and you are me. There's a handful of like kind of interesting dreamlike sequences leading up to the climax of this comic book wherein you're getting the idea that the line between self-identity and obsession with this actress is very much being crossed. And there are some things that I wish weren't so like I would say the majority of the book read dreamlike to me to a point where like there are some things I wasn't sure if they were really happening or were part of a fantasy or like lacked a little bit of clarity in how we got from A to B on some things. Like my assumption is is that the ticket to get into the fan event was forged, or maybe this like boyfriend guy like knew somebody who set the thing up. It was a little unclear like what that relationship was, and there was a handful of things like that throughout the comic book that I I almost wanted a little more explanation. Like I think it got alluded to that this woman's job is who is our like I don't know attacker is dancing this woman's dances somewhere. Did you pick that up?
Yes.
That
There
she
was
like professionally like works as a dancer somewhere and her specialty is reimagining this woman's like or just performing this woman's favorite dances from her movies, and she gets let
yes.
go because she's that woman's kind of like losing of relevancy a little bit, and you know leads to the whole point that she's decided to retire in this
Yeah, because
with
she's
this
like
last
famous in the
film.
'90s or not.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Um, I also so her I'll say male counterpart who is like almost explicitly not her boyfriend, but they have a deeper than friendship relationship. Um,
He likes
he
her.
well, and
I
so
th-
he's a porn producer. If you didn't pick that up,
no, I did not pick that up.
yeah. So
He makes porn.
he's a porn producer, and he acquires or has forged tickets to this meet and greet and asks her what she is willing to do for that ticket,
Mhm.
and they end up having sex. But during it, this is very Cronenbergian to me. That is what it felt like, because during the act he expresses that he's uncomfortable with what's going on,
Yeah.
but she keeps pressing forward with what they're doing, crying the whole time, uh, and sort of continuing along this line of conversation that is making him uncomfortable because it's what she thinks he wants to hear, because she so desperately wants these meet and greet tickets.
That wasn't my interpretation of that scene at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
my interpretation was that these two are already in a sexual relationship with each other,
Uh huh.
and that this time around she was doing role play
Uh huh.
and was like, I'm a Hollywood woman and you're the producer and I have to sleep with you to get into the movie. So you're going to use and abuse me. And he's just like, I have feelings for you. Like, I don't like this. I don't want to do this role play where I'm like using you. And she's pushes for it because she's into this idea of like, I'm in Hollywood. And that's like the blur between
Yeah.
um, you know, her kind of associating herself too much or wanting to role play being this like actress or famous person.
Interesting.
I might be completely wrong on the read of that, especially knowing that he's like actually a producer or something. Like
Well,
I
that
thought that was all just a part of role play.
I picked that up because he's wearing a shirt that's like in the first scene that's like a
Uh-huh.
porn pun of something, and then
Okay.
her mother also says something like he's involved in that industry, or like I know what he does or something. Um,
Mm. See, that was stuff I must have missed.
but then also right before that scene, there's a line that's like she said they said something like this isn't anything they haven't done before, but it was different this time. in
Yeah.
that transition between him like getting that ticket and them having sex.
Because it was transactional.
That I mean that
That it
again, that's the way I
that it ruined the
interpreted it.
Yeah, right. There was just there I'll say, as a kind of criticism for me, there were a lot of things. I read this twice,
Yeah.
and there were a lot of things that I think remained unclear about what exactly it was that was going on. But I do think there's something to say for, like, the tonality that did create, because
Yeah.
it did feel ethereal at points, and it did feel dreamlike, and it made the transition to this, like, very horrific thing at the end of the comic feel more in place with something that would have been more, like, grounded. So all the pieces together ultimately worked, but there were a handful of times I was hazy on the details where I thought, like, I don't maybe necessarily need to be hazy on the details of how things are coming together for this to work the way it did. So I'm I'm very interested in continuing to read this, and like I said, like, seeing if, like, this actress woman wakes up in the the other woman's body would be, like,
Yeah.
hyper fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Um, and there's potential there for a kind of I loved, shoot, what was the Sebastian Stan movie where he's got, like, um, a a physical difference, and it comes off of his face once he takes
Oh,
some medicine?
yeah.
I'm spacing on the name of that movie,
Yeah.
but
God, what
something,
was
A
that?
Very Good Man, or
Yeah, it's yeah.
something
It's
like A
something
Very
like
Good
yeah.
Man. But the message with that one was that
A
this
different
guy's
man.
a different man, that this guy's appearance changed holistically. And he's always thought, well, if I didn't look the way that I did, then I would have this completely different life. I could have it all. Um, and then he becomes a different man visually, but does not become a different man mentally, like,
Yeah.
charismatically, like, all this stuff. He meets another person that has the deformities that or the differences that he had had in his previous life, and is like, this guy's the most charismatic person on earth, and, like, can do it all and draw everyone's attention in a room, and everyone loves this guy. And there's this frustration of, like, why can't I have that? And I think there's potential for that to be explored in this book as well.
For
That, like,
sure.
you become this, you think you're becoming this person that you love so much, but then finding out that, like, oh, you're holistically different than what makes them them. That your fascination and the line you blurred between you isn't actually a blurry line at all. Like, you don't know this person at all.
Right.
Um, so that'll be super interesting to explore. I mean, it's like obsession and fans that are, like, too intense or too protective over, like, the legacy of, fictional characters or actual actors is, like, well trodden territory. But doing it in this way is something, like, really new that I haven't really seen before, and I like how it takes the kind of, like, metaphor of, wearing someone else's skin and or getting in someone else's shoes, but, like, takes it to an
Yeah.
extremely literary, like, place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literal, not literary.
Yeah. And again, especially through the lens of like Bollywood stardom, I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's another place that, like, at least in America, we're not super exposed to Bollywood culture. We have access to it, but
Yeah.
it's not really, like, a part of our popular culture. So it works. I do think that is something that always works really well in fiction for me. That, like, when you're trying to show me a band that is like the most famous band in the world, but like it's a band you made up for a comic book, and then the lyrics you put in the comic book are like corny as fuck, and it just like doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
It feels so detached from anything that would feel real. It becomes very corny. But making this like uh, a book that's set on the other side of the world from me in a different culture, and then giving me these like fictional characters, it feels way more grounded in a way that I think setting it in America like would feel a little more like it wouldn't translate as well for me on like
Yeah.
how real it felt.
Totally. Totally. I love this book. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was
Um,
good. It was good.
this is what I'm definitely gonna read the like liner notes, the letters pages for like every
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
I'm super interested in this.
Give us the supplemental content.
Totally. Um, what else did you read? Anything else?
No, that's all I got to this week.
Okay. Um, I also read Hello Body Horror because if I buy one thing, I'm going to buy all of it. So
Uh-huh.
this is a spin-off of Hello Darkness, the
Yep.
Boom Studio horror
Horror
anthology
anthology.
book. Yep.
Hmm.
Focused on body horror. So, you know, what you see is what you get. You got an anthology of body horror comics, and uh, one is about a body positive fitness influencer who decides to, go to a gym one day and then ultimately becomes this like weird beefcake girl that, is holistically different than the person she was, when we got to the start of the story. Uh, that kind of stuff, right?
Hmm.
That body horror stuff that explores those kinds of uh, uh, topics where your bodily transformation is more of a reflection of what your character transformation is,
Yeah.
uh, plus all the goo and goop that comes along with it. Um, one of the highlights was I'm pretty sure the Ice Cream Man team did a story in this,
Oh, okay, cool.
and that was really interesting. I know it was what's his name, Martin
Martin
Moran.
Marazzo.
Martin Marazzo wrote it, and
Hmm.
it looked like Ice Cream Man. So I don't
Hmm.
I think it was the team, but um, that was a highlight. Robert Hack did a little one page. I think it was Robert Hack, a little like one page uh disconnected story, but it was like kind of in the style of old comic book ads where it's like, mail in your 50 cents and we'll send you the how to be a jacked beefcake on the beach
Hmm.
kind of thing. So, um, that was a fun story. Always love to see that these horror anthologies sell really well. And it's cool that Hello Darkness decided to go this route of genre focusing, um,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, just launching a spinoff that was like Hello Action or something, right? They could have
Hmm.
done something, whatever. They focused in tighter as opposed to like going to a different genre or something. So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. And then I also read Event Horizon Inferno,
Oh, yeah, we
which
loved the first Event Horizon.
yeah, so that first one, is it Dark Descent, I think is what it was called.
That sounds right.
That was a prequel to the movie. This is a sequel to the movie. So it jumps forward like 200 years,
Yeah.
and you've got a tech bro who is interested in the technology that the Event Horizon has on board with that, faster than light engine. Um, and now that the spaceship has reappeared, he's like, "Oh, we got to go capture it, so we can build 100 of them and capitalize on it, whatever.
Oh no.
But yeah,
Hopefully
you
they
get
don't
on,
get to building 100 of these things.
but you get on board, and
It's a lot of doomed people.
it's a lot of doomed people. But you get on board, and there's a big twist at the end that has a linkage to the original movie. But throughout the story, you also get these flashbacks to this tech bro's like childhood,
Mm-hmm.
where he is like super into demon worship and occult, and is actually worshiping Paimon, who is like one of the dukes of hell or kings of hell or whatever. So there's this sort of, kind of like the original movie, is this entity guiding him to the ship so
Yeah.
that he can, you know, release hell in our dimension, that kind of
Yeah,
thing. So
right.
yeah, Christian Ward, wrote it again and knocked it out of the park. So the Event Horizon IP is in very good hands over at IDW.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of those things that I always thought of as like a corny movie, and then watching it within the last year or so really like reevaluate how how rad it is.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
yeah,
And then yeah, to have a comic book expand the lore so well and make the experience of watching the movie feel like it's a part of a bigger whole is is really fun. And then to get to play in the space where, there'd probably never be another Event Horizon movie made. Um, you never know. All kinds of things are getting brought back, but um, to play in that world more is very exciting, and that's another reason I love comics. It's an affordable way to expand and explore on things that otherwise might not have gotten touched because it's a cheap way to tell stories.
that's right.
Same
Well,
thing with like the Sleepy Hollow book. Like I love that they
yeah,
expanded that movie into now 2 follow-up series that have both been awesome so far.
that's right. Well, only because you said it, I'll spoil it for you, Mike D. So
Okay.
the twist at the end. So again, this story takes place 200 years after the first movie.
Mhm.
And at the end, um, I've forgotten her name, but the final girl from the movie,
Yeah.
Lieutenant whatever, she's still alive on the Event Horizon, and she shows up with a bloody axe in her hand and a demon's head on, like
Whoa.
holding a demon head, and she's like, "Hey, welcome aboard. What are you guys doing here?" So it's like, how is she still alive? Has she just been like killing demons for 200 years? Like,
Yeah, does time work different inside the warp hole?
yeah,
Well, everyone
yeah.
gets I'm trying to remember. Everyone gets like sucked into like a kind of portal thing, right? But it like
Are you talking about at the end?
yeah, at the end.
So the original theatrical ending, she gets rescued. Like a ship shows
Okay.
up and they blow up the Event Horizon, or it gets sucked into the like the engine turns on and it
Yeah.
goes back to hell. But
Yeah.
she makes it out.
Okay.
So again, the question at the end of this book is like, is that what, we thought she made it out? Has she like actually just been on, did she come back? Did she
Yeah.
somehow get re-sucked into, the ship because of her, association with the
Yeah.
events that happened on it? We don't know.
That this thing does seem to have a pull, and it
Right.
drives some people towards a, an end goal. So she could easily get tied back up in it again.
Yeah. Or is she just like a copy that the ship has made?
Yeah, right. Maybe.
You know.
Yeah. Ooh,
So
fun. I love
yeah,
it.
lots of cool stuff happening.
Hell yeah.
So that's what I read. Lots of horror for me this week.
Yeah, no kidding. This is like, there's so many horror video games and horror comics. It's like we are, and it's so funny. We're like opposite end of the year of Halloween.
Yeah, imagine what we're going to get this October.
God, out of control. Yeah. All right, rad. Well, that's another episode of First Issue Club. That's what we make here, I guess. We're at like 430 of these things. Crazy. So hang on with us. We want to make it at least to 500, and then we'll evaluate whether we retire or not.
Okay, sure.
But 500 seems like a good number of podcasts to me, but you never know.
Yeah, let's wrap it up at 500. Why not? No, then
maybe we'll make it to 1,000. Yeah,
make it season 3 at 500.
There you go. Yeah, we're in season 2 right now. After episode 300, I think we made that decision. Yeah. All right. We'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.
Bye. First Issue Club podcast is brought to you by Boulevard Brewing Company, the people responsible for our favorite drinks, the Space Camper Cosmic IPA family of beers. Our show is edited and produced by our hosts Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtag, and Andy Vargas. You can find us on social media at First Issue Club, and you can join the supporters who keep our humble podcast going on our Patreon at patreon.com/firstissueclub.